Okay, welcome to lesson 27, divide mixed numbers. Now this is another part of dividing fractions, but we're actually going to divide mixed numbers. So it's like the second part of multiplying mixed numbers, uh, where I take you from just multiplying simple fractions to multiplying mixed numbers. Yes, the previous video we divided fractions. Now we're going to move into mixed numbers. So there's no reason for a whole lot of examples because the work we did in the previous lesson applies here. And so I may omit some things here and there. So I encourage you to watch these videos in a cluster, a couple of videos at a time. Here's our objective. Here's our rules notes. Use the vocabulary from the previous lesson because the vocabulary is the same. I'm not going to get off into using the high and technical terms for things. I'm going to just say top and bottom and flip and stuff like that. All right, so now the first thing what we know we have to do is we have 2 7/8, and we're going to divide that by 1 1/2. So now, the first thing we have to do with fractions, and remember, this is what you have to do. You have to convert your mixed numbers, that's a whole number with a fraction, into an improper fraction. An improper fraction, the number on top is bigger than the number on the bottom. So 2 times 8 is 16, plus 7. 16 plus 7 is 23, so we have 23 divided by 8. The bottom stays the same. I'm just going to copy because all I'm doing in step 1 is converting the mixed numbers. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3, so we have 3/2. Okay, and we'll pick this up. 23/8 divided by 3/2. 23, this is 23 over 8 divided by 3/2. Okay, 3/2, not eighths, 3/2. Okay, so now, from yesterday, or the previous lesson, 23 over 8, change the divide to multiply, flip the second fraction upside down, or invert it, or find its reciprocal. 2 and 8 had the same factors, they have a common factor of 2. And now, I take 23 times 1 is 23. 4 times 3 is 12. When you multiply fractions, tops multiply tops and bottoms multiply bottoms. But our problem is not done. This is the correct answer, but you will never, ever, ever, ever see this on a test as an answer. You have to simplify, which means convert it back into a mixed number. And 12 times 2 is 24, so we have 23 divided by 12 will give us 1, and 23 minus 12 is 11, and 12 goes down at the bottom. So 2 7/8 divided by 1 1/2 is 1 11/12. And now you're saying, Mr. Walls, you divided these numbers and you came up with a smaller number. And in the previous lesson, you said fractions would get bigger. But here's the deal. These numbers are bigger than 1. They're not just plain fractions. So when you divide a mixed number by a fraction, it will get smaller. Okay, let's look at our next example. 7 2/3 divided by 3 3/5. So now what am I going to do on this video? I am going to, on this slide I am just going to convert these into improper fractions. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23 over 3, divided by 3 times 5 is 15, plus 3 is 18, 18 over 5. Okay, 23/3 divided by 18/5. So 23 thirds divided by 18 fifths. And now you have to change the divide to multiply. You have to flip the second fraction. And now we can't see where we can cross multiply. 23 is prime, 5 and 3 are prime. So there's nothing to multiply. So let's just multiply. When we multiply fractions, tops multiply to tops. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1, 15. 3 times 8 is 4. 2, 54. Okay. So now we have to simplify our fraction by turning it back into a mixed number. 54 plus 54 is 108. So 54 goes into 114 twice. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtracting, we have 6 left over. So this is our whole number. 2, our remainder, goes on the top, and our divisor goes on the bottom. But 6 and 54, I have to reduce this. So I have to find, if I think of my 6 times table, 6 goes into 54. So if I divide by 9 over 9, because we're simplifying the fraction, we get 2. The whole number comes over. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm dividing by 6, not 9. I'm dividing by 6. Because you can't divide by a different number in the top. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. And 54 divided by 6 is 9. I was thinking about the answer and not the problem in front of me. So I apologize. You have to divide by the numbers, the smallest number in a fraction. So 2 and 64th is equivalent to 2 and 1/9. And I discussed this in a previous video, equivalent fractions. And those are our examples. I'll see you at the end of the video to wrap up the practice problems. Okay, so look at this one. We have negative 21 and 3/16. Negative 21 and 3/16. You might have read this as 213 over 16. I tried to make a space in there to make the fraction. So if you didn't read it like that, that's fine. But just so you know, in the future, when you see fractions and you see a space in between the numbers, this part is after the space is supposed to be a fraction. Divided by 1 and 1/6. So now we have to turn these into improper fractions. So 21 times 16 is 336 plus 3 is 339 over 16 divided by 7 over 6 negative. And we're going to have to flip the fractions. So negative 339 over 16. Change the divide to multiply. Flip the fraction upside down. And let's look and see if we can do any cross multiplication. Oh, look at this. 6 goes into 6 once. 6 goes into 18 3 times. Negative 339 over 21. And now we're going to have to turn this into a mixed number. So we're going to do 21 into 339. 1 times 21 is 21. That leaves us with 129. So how many times is 21 going to 129? It's probably going to be 6. Because 6 quarters is 125. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Oh, look at it, worked out for us. No, 6 20s is 120. I'm sorry, 6 quarters is 150. Subtracting, we get 3 left over. So our answer is negative 16 and 3 21st. And again, 3 21st or 3 over 21 is not simplified. We're going to have to divide by 3 over 3. And we get negative 16. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Now we have the proper answer. Even though this answer is correct and this answer is correct, they are not simplified. Let's look at our final example. Negative 6 and 5/8 divided by negative 2 and 1/4. And from the integer video, if you know you have 1, 2 negatives, then it's an even amount because 2 is an even number. So we get rid of that. So now let's just deal with our fractions. The negatives go away. 6 times 8 is 48 plus 5 is 53 over 8 divided by 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 over 4. Now we do the change. 53 over 8. And when we do these videos, when I do these videos, I'm going to take it one step at a time so that you follow along with me. So now that we're multiplying, and we inverted the fraction and did all of that stuff, we're going to cross multiply. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 8 twice. We have 53 over 18. And this is not finished. It's the correct answer, but it's not finished. So now we had to divide 53 by 18. 18 times 2 is 36. With a remainder of 17. So our answer is 2. The remainder of 17 goes in the top. The divisor 18 goes down at the bottom. This is the correct and simplified answer. So this concludes this video on dividing fractions. These are the only 2 videos right now on dividing fractions, but we will be working on all of these fraction skills in upcoming videos, so please do not forget them. The next set of videos we're going to be working on is ratio, which is just fractions with units in them or fractions with words in them. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching my video.